This is the Tree of Life, Season 20, Chapter 7. In this episode, we will be talking about the elimination of a substitution event by way of group sublimation, manifesting as reconciliation. When an ordinary substitution event resolves, it does so by way of sublimation and verbalization leading to acquiescence. If the acquiescence does not occur, the result is the continuation of the substitution event. The substitution event is described by the separation of the vessel's objects of consciousness from the objects of consciousness perceived as self-referential to the self-representation. That is, there are two streams, one digital, one analog, describing a series of distinct movements centered around the vessel. In a substitution event, the self-representation remains anchored to the vessel, but there are, through infinite recursion, convoluted paths within those movements, which describe the analog stream, divorced as it is from the digital stream perceived by the subject. Now, substitution events can be linked together through verbalization of the sublimating language, that is, the creation of linked objects described from within the digital stream. These objects are then transmitted through medium such as the internet to another person, who, by virtue of those common objects, experiences a parallel substitution event, or a dissonant space. Thus, dissonant spaces are created by this linking between the disconnected objects of consciousness of one individual to another's, divorced from their vessel as well. There is, however, another way that this substitution event can end, other than through acquiescence to the originating, negated, impulse. It can also end through linking of the analog stream to the digital stream through the self-representation of the subject. That is, there are a specific series of movements, a rhythm, so to speak, which comprises negation and acquiescence in a specific series, which unifies both the analog and the digital stream. In this case, the self-representation acts as a bridge between the objects of consciousness contextual to the vessel and the objects referential to the self. This rhythm, so to speak, is a form of group sublimation, two-sided sublimation, manifesting as reconciliation. In that, within the analog stream, where ordinarily within a substitution event force is applied to the vessel to compel compliance, instead there is a dialogue. This dialogue eliminates the bifurcation of awareness during the transitionary period. The result is the same, acquiescence occurs, but outside the transitionary period describing the bifurcation. The specific series of movements, which represents a union of the analog and digital stream, eliminate the variance between the two streams, which permits bifurcation of awareness during the transitionary period. Thus, group sublimation manifesting as reconciliation can enable acquiescence without force to compel compliance. Thus, this form of group sublimation is a manifestation of tautological natural law, as opposed to hierarchical natural law. Where leaders or trendsetters eliminate bifurcation through dialogue to produce acquiescence and integration of an impulse into the self-representation of a subject. That's the end of the podcast for today.